Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Kathy and this is Kathy's Teacher Tips. Hello everyone, today I am going to be talking about some things that every teacher should have in their classroom, and this does not matter if you are a new teacher or you've been doing it 30 years, you probably need these things in your classroom. Some of them are going to seem pretty obvious, but I know when I was a new teacher trying to get everything for my classroom, it was a little bit overwhelming to remember everything, and what I didn't want to happen was for me to remember like the really big things and then forget something that should have been obvious. And some of this will vary depending on what your school and district do and do not provide for you already. And these are all things that can pretty much be if you wait on your reimbursement check. At least where I am, we get a check at the beginning of every year to reimburse us for school supplies from the state. But depending on where you are, that might not be the case. I don't know your story. But if you need to wait until you get that money, if you need to wait till tax-free weekend, or if you need to just get one of these each week when you go shopping and build up over time, that's fine. Just remember, separate receipts for taxes, okay? Just throwing that out there. But anyway, these are items that you should have in your classroom, and this video is probably going to actually be broken down into multiple parts because there are a lot of things, and I'm going to try to group them together by category. So first things first, in the obvious department is going to be kind of cleaning, sanitation, things. And once again, I don't know what's provided for you or not. As a newbie, if you really need to rely on what's provided for you, that's fine. But I found over time that the more I can have already so that it's just conveniently located and I don't have to call someone and wait on it, sometimes just makes things flow easier. And you don't want to lose your flow in the middle of the day when you're already trying to keep children occupied. So here we go. First things first. Tissues. Really does not matter what brand you get as long as you have them and as long as you have them in abundance. These should be on every school supply list. And I see, as I've been teaching more and more years, why so many experienced teachers just have Sam's cards because they just bulk get things for their school. I get it. Brand doesn't really matter. I tend to go for the cheaper ones for school simply because they go through them so fast. At allergy season or cold and flu season, sometimes we would go through like one box in a day or 2 boxes if it was really bad and I was switching classes, something like that. So you have to have tissues. And what I like to do is I like to have a couple boxes around the room so that people aren't walking back and forth with tissues. And I'll make little stations, like whether it's on a TV dinner tray or like something around the room, I have multiple, right? With that, also sanitizer. I usually have the big pump bottles since I'm at home and it's the summertime. This is just what I had in the closet, but sanitize. And what you do is you put your tissue box and the sanitizer beside it and the trash can right under it. Have multiple mini trash cans too. Since I'm at home, I don't have my extra work trash cans right now, but if I could hold one up and show you, I get several of the little small trash bags or trash cans, and I just keep them all together so they can do their business, sanitize their hands all at once. And that also prevents distraction. And worst case scenario, you don't want a child tissues over here walking across the room with the nasty tissue to throw away. So just all together is best. Right along with that, we have disinfectant wipes. I always try to get off-brand, but get what you can. You will go through these. Right now with COVID, we've been eating in our classrooms, and it's just a lot easier, even though we have a spray issued by the school that we sanitize the desks with throughout the day. When it's time for everyone to eat at the same time, it's a lot easier to have a helper pass out everyone one of these to clean their desk with than it is to try and wait on 1 or 2 kids to clean everybody's desk. So these are just a convenience. They're a little bit of a luxury. And they do eat the money, so the rest of the time, by all means, use a spray and a paper towel. But these are golden when you need them, and it's easy to have them. Also going along with sanitizing, this is not sponsored, but this stuff works really well, so I'm just going to throw it out there. Of course, you could use a different off-brand disinfectant spray, but this is Microban. and it's supposed to kill bacteria for 24 hours. This is not something, it can be a little strong smelling, that you use every single class or something like that if you rotate. This is something good to put on the desks at the end of the day, whether you do it or you have a helper do it if you teach older kids, and wipe down the desks and chairs and light switches. If I can remember to, the handles of the doors, everything like that, once a day, just as an extra boost. And so with that, it is good to also always have either dedicated microfiber cloths. My school provided them last year, but I think these are good to have anyway, so I'll switch to talking about them now. For quick spills, wiping down desks, because they're microfiber, you can use them to clean the screens on technology and things like that. So these are useful for that. They're not the most absorbent for big spills, so I would recommend having some just generic cleaning cloths for that, for if there's a big spill, because sometimes you don't want a kid running back and forth to the bathroom to get more paper towels. So have some cloths that can soak things up. And if your school issues them, great, but a lot of times it's on you, and that's okay. Also, with that same tangent, paper towels, you are never going to know when you're going to need these, whether it's for a quick spill, the tissues ran out and you just need to grab one, you left a paper towel out of your lunchbox because you were remembering everything else for the students. Students forgot a paper towel in their lunchbox, but they didn't get one from the cafeteria because they weren't issued one because they didn't get school lunch, whatever reason, just have some paper towels. This isn't officially on the list, but I've even had extra toilet paper for just in case there's an emergency and for some reason there's no toilet paper. I've even had that before. It's a little weird, but rather have it in the closet than not have it and need it and the custodian can't get there for a long time. So just throwing that out there. I've got 2 more things, and then I will break and you can see the rest in part 2. Another thing that you need to have in your classroom is petroleum jelly. For those of you familiar, brand name would be Vaseline. Once again, not sponsored, but totally open to it. You can use this. I've been doing this the past 4 years with my students, especially during the winter time. This is a chapstick. It is a lotion. Hand cream, knee cream, whatever you need it to be, it is it. And it works good to have one product that all my students can use. This isn't an item on the list, but if you have them, the best way to do it, I've found, is to swab some on a Q-tip and hand the student the Q-tip, and then they can get it off and rub it where they need it, or they can get it off, put it where, on their hands, on their lips, on their knees, on their elbows, however they need it for their lotion. And if you need to do more than one Q-tip, that's okay. Something was on something and stuck all over me. But it's okay, we're going to move on. But it is wonderful. It is wonderful. I've even used it, and doing it that way where you can just administer it quickly keeps it sanitary so that you don't have to worry about germs getting inside your product. So this is great. It's not something you would necessarily think about. That's why I'm here to tell you. And along with that, Band-Aids, and I've got them in a small pencil box here because that way if they go in my emergency bag, they don't get crushed, bent up, crumpled, and become unsanitary. It stays structured for if they go out at recess and all of that. And I usually get a mixed size box whenever I refill, so it might have the little tiny ones, it might have wider ones, and some of the big ones too, because nothing is worse than only having like a huge Band-Aid for a cut this big, or having a bunch of tiny Band-Aids in a row trying to cover a big scratch, right? And of course with this, wear your gloves. Most schools issue gloves and Band-Aids, but let me tell you, those are not enough Band-Aids. Those Band-Aids will be gone in one day, because once one student has an injury, everybody needs a Band-Aid. That's just how monkey see, monkey do. It's one of those things with kids. If one needs to go to the bathroom, they all need to go to the bathroom. If one needs a Band-Aid, they all need a Band-Aid. If one needs water, they all need water. Whatever it is, okay? So it's better to just have a lot than only have the couple that are issued from the nurse. And if you want to get some extra gloves, just in case you run out early, you can. I haven't had a problem with that, but I've taught older elementary for the most part, where I've been able to say, here's your Band-Aid, you put it on, and then I don't have to worry about the bloodborne pathogens. But always follow hygiene policy. Always wear your gloves if you do have to help a student in that situation. And if it's something that they're supposed to go to the nurse for, always send them so that you're not breaking policy. That was a lot all in once, so if you need me to explain anything or unpack it more, just let me know. And I will see you guys in part 2 with the rest of the items. Bye. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I hope to see you soon. Take care.